Welcome to MASH Performance. It's Coach Nate here. Today we're going to be talking about squat stance variations. Stance is one of the first things we usually address with most of our members. A lot of people don't understand that there are options to choose from. And knowing what your options are is going to help develop your squat and be successful later on. Ideally, we get our athletes to the point where they can vary squat stance depending on the goal and what we're working on. But to begin, just to think of it, these are general rules, these aren't absolutes. So there's going to be variations in stance in between the four that we show you. Really finding out what's the best position for you is going to be what this video is for. So to begin, let's just think of squat stances as what feels best for the way that your length and your mobility and the factors that go into making you can be personified or helped create a better squat. So we're going to start out with 4 different squat stances. One, okay, if we just give it a number, is going to be your general shoulder width, toes straight ahead squat position. And what we'd like to do is either put our hands on top of our chest or on our shoulders, elbows up, or go overhead if you really want to feel the restriction. But what we're going to do is just kind of glide down. And when we do this, we're really just basing this off of feel. We're not really getting too technical with this. We want to make sure that what you're doing is you're feeling that everything feels smooth, minimizing pain, minimizing blocks in your mobility. What feels like it's offering you the deepest squat without anything feeling obstructed. So squat 1, shoulder width, toes straight ahead. Now the variation all we're going to do is keep that width, is open up our toes. So we're going to externally rotate at our feet, so allowing our hips to move out. And really, if you have any kind of quad tightness, this is going to allow your hips to kind of open up and make it more of a hip dominant squat. So again, just same idea, trying your different positions, making sure that spine stays erect. We're just going deep into our squat, finding the right position. So that's number 2. Number 3 would be squared up again, but we're just going wider. Now this is where the width can be different depending on how tall you are and your bone length. You can get wider, but really as long as you have a wider stance than hip width, you're starting to get into that number 3 version. So toes straight ahead, a little bit wider than the hips and the shoulders, and we're just going to squat down again, same idea. Variations of hands are going to help make you feel where your spine is going to get the best feel for this as well. So the last one to cover, number 4, is just the add-on that we did in number 2, is just opening up our hips, externally rotating at our feet. So finding which range of motion, again, is going to feel the smoothest. It's about what you feel. There's not really anything that we can say in directing the squat yet, because all we want you to do is try these 4 variations to say this one feels the best. And that's what we're going to build your strength from. The last thing we're going to show you is how you can use a partner to assist in developing where your squat stance is. That we'll commonly use a partner to figure out what's the best squat stance for yourself is to just take the hip and really kind of see what the capsule is allowing the best freedom and range of motion from. So all you need is a buddy to support your ankle and go right underneath your knee with that hand, and you're just going to push and find the angle that allows you the best freedom of movement in that capsule. So generally speaking, when you don't want to go past 120 degrees, so finding the right position and toe angle so that it feels smooth the whole range of motion through is another way to kind of figure out where we're going to be best able to squat into a full range of motion. So we kind of have Mike's figured out. He likes that shoulder width, toes open position. So if we were to go through with both legs and we feel where he is going to have that opening. So when we push him up, we open up those hips. Everything is fluid. There's no lower back rounding. Everything feels smooth through that range of motion. And again, when we're using this, if you come and watch the outside of the hip, when you're taking a single leg, is the lower back not rounding. So if we want to be here, right, you're just going to see it. I'm just going to show you. So we're looking for that lower back. If that hip kind of rolls with the range of motion, so if we take Coach Mike and we bring him up, his lower back kind of comes off the table as we go up. When we go wider, it stays on the table. It feels smooth. And again, this is him also a part of this process. So if he feels best here and not having anything bite or feel like it's tense, then we can confidently say that we're going to use that number 2 variation of his squat stance. But again, ultimately it's up to the lifter to provide what they feel the best doing. So just because the coach tells you that they want you squatting in that position, it's a suggestion, it's not an absolute. Always goes off of what you feel the best squatting with. So those 4 range of motions, so 1, 2, 3, and 4 stance, or you can have a partner kind of figure out what feels the best for you and then provide that feedback. Thanks again, MASH Nation, for watching our video on squat stance. I hope it helps. Again, please follow us on any of our social medias with Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Any questions or comments, please provide below, and we'll see you again on the next video.